Welcome to another episode of MrLopezClasses.com. Today we are going to continue with our marine auxiliary book. This is the chapter 6, chapter 6 dedicated to gyros, stabilizers, and bow and steam thrusters and stabilizers. This is the episode dedicated to bow thrusters and steam thrusters. We are going to analyze the process, starting on the selection of the bow thruster and finishing in the installation, the real installation with the electrical connection, the wiring of the bow thruster. This is a wonderful episode. I hope you enjoy the episode. Okay, today there are a lot of options for bow thrusters and steam thrusters, and there are electrical options, AC and DC, and there are hydraulic options. All of them are excellent options. Normally the DC bow thrusters are considered for medium boats, small and medium boats. The electricals AC are considered for medium and big boats, and the hydraulic bow thrusters are considered for mega yachts, big boats. Depend of the force, depend of the thrust that you need produce with the bow thruster. You select the bow thruster hydraulic or electrical AC or electrical DC. And now we are going to try to understand the considerations according to each boat. There are a lot of manufacturers, Side Power, Vidus, a lot of manufacture of bow thrusters and steam thrusters, and they have a great charge in order to select the bow thruster appropriated for your boat, according basically with the length of the boat and the weight of the boat. Now we are going to check what is the factor that you need to take in consideration when you select the bow thruster appropriated for your boat. What is the meaning of the bow thruster? The bow thruster is a transversal propulsion device mounted on the bow of the boat or at the stern of the boat. For that reason, it's called bow thruster in front of a steam thruster in the back. This is wonderful because it's an element that produces lateral thrust. It's good when you try to dock the boat. Bow thruster make docking easier. They allow the captain to turn the vessel to port or starboard without using the propulsion system. That's the secret, and this is the advantage of the boat. But there are boats, if you remember in previous episode the explanation about the IPS system. That system is a wonderful system. In that system, because those lower units rotate 360 degrees, you can use that propulsion system in order to move the boat laterally. With that system, with the IPS system, you don't need install additional thrusters. That's wonderful. This is magic. I love that design. All right, and now we are going to try to select the appropriated bow thruster, and we are going to check where is the area in the boat where should be located the bow thruster. There are a lot of considerations in relation with that decision. The first step is put the boat out of the water and mark where is located the water line in the boat. Normally when you put out the boat of the water, you have the mark of the water on the hull. This is important. Check where is located the water line, because the tunnel, the diameter of the tunnel should be located minimum 1 feet, 1.5 feet below the water line. Remember that the bow thruster and the steam thruster is used when basically during the docking. And during the docking, it's supposed that the boat is level. No, it's not. Those elements, the bow thruster and steam thruster, are not used when the boat is at high speed or when the boat is running. It's only for docking procedures. In that case, the boat is level, and it's supposed that those tunnels are below the waterline, minimum 1 feet, minimum. All right. The first step is put out the boat out of the water, and put the boat with the stands and level the water. That's the second step. And check inside of the boat, especially in front of the boat, where should be located the bow thruster, and where should be located the tunnel, because we are going to do the hole in order to install the bow thruster. The selection of where should be located the tunnel is critical. Yes, the tunnel is in fiberglass, and we need to perforate the hole in order to install the tunnel, and after that we need to laminate the fiberglass. Okay, normally is in medium boats you have the master room located in the bow of the boat, in that corner, and behind the bed, the master bed, normally is located this triangle where the bow thruster, the tunnel should be installed. Okay, you need to verify how much is the space, how much is the area of that room, and how much is the height that you have to install the motor, because this is an important consideration if the motor will be installed vertical or horizontal or inclined, depending of the room that you have in that corner, in that area. Alright, select the area and check outside of the boat. Check outside of the boat where is located the water line, and verify where should be located, approximated that hole. I recommend, if you have the boat in a marina, mark provisional with a pencil where should be located the hole according with your preference, and ask to other technicians, especially if are technicians dedicated to install hydraulic systems, ask to them what is the opinion of them about the tunnel on that point. And I recommend ask 3 different opinions before you do the hole for the tunnel. In order to do the hole and install the tunnel and laminate the tunnel, I recommend, if you don't have enough experience with fiberglass, try to use a contractor specialized in the installation of the tunnel. Let me explain something. The installation of a bow thruster have two different sections. One section is the fiberglass. The fiberglass is the hole, the installation of the tunnel, the lamination, all the process of fiberglass, and after that paint the bottom. Normally, when I install bow thrusters and steam thruster, I use a contractor specialized in fiberglass because I have experience with fiberglass, but I don't have enough experience to perforate the hole and install a tunnel and laminate. The lamination in that area is critical. If you are not an expert in fiberglass, use a contractor for the installation of the tunnel. Normally, I have a friend of mine that install those tunnels for me, and after that I install the bow thruster, I do the wiring configuration, I install the electrical cable, everything, the batteries. I install the bow thruster, but I use a contractor specialized in fiberglass to do the hole and install the tunnel. That's very, very important. And the other part of the installation is not complicated if you follow the rules, if you check the manufacturer recommendations, and if you are clean and organized. Okay, I recommend call an expert in fiberglass to do the hole. And this is the process to prepare conditions to do the hole. The next step is verify the water line, where is located the water line, mark the water line, and after that check the tables. Those are the typical tables. Each manufacturer have your own tables. The blue marks are the part number of the boat thruster recommended for that specific boat. This is the length of the boat in meters. Remember that 1 meter is equivalent to 3 feet, right? This is 6 meters, 9 meters, 12 meters. If you want to know in feet, you multiply times 3. Okay, and in this column we have the size of the tunnel in millimeters. In this particular case, for a boat of 6 meters, the diameter of the tunnel recommended is 110 millimeters. And the model of the boat thruster is the EB20. This is an example. In other words, on top, over there, we have the length of the boat in meters. In this column, we have the diameter of the tunnel, and the blue ones are the serial number of the boat thruster recommended for this particular manufacturer, side power. Side power is very, very common in medium and small boats. Alright, this is the typical chart to select the boat thruster. It's not complicated. And depending on the manufacturer, you call the manufacturer, you explain to him the mark of your boat, the type of propulsion system used, and the length of the boat, and they recommend the boat thruster recommended specific for that boat. Okay, you have the boat thruster recommended, and now we are going to mark on the hull in order to do the hull. There are different tools to mark. This is a special tool. If you can fabricate that tool, it's too simple. If you have the hull, this is the hull of the boat, and it's basically a piece of wood. It's a piece of wood like this, and the wood have a drill, and you pass the rod over there, and in the block of the wood you have another shaft with different holes, and this is sharp, and with this you can mark the hole like this. And finally, you have the hole mark, the oval that you need cut. Some people use the regular jigsaw to make a hole over there. That's not good, because at the end of the day, the hole is not perfect, and you need added too much fiber, too much resin in the process of lamination. I prefer use professional tools. For that reason, I prefer call a specialized guy in fiberglass with experience in this type of jobs. Okay, and after that is when the hole is completely marked. This is another tool used to mark the hole. And now you need prepare the tunnel. The tunnel is coming when you order the bow thruster. The bow thruster is coming, is the bow thrusters, the tunnel, the harness, and the control box. Yeah, those elements are coming in the kit. And the tunnel is in fiberglass. It's a special material, and I recommend that you verify the tunnel, verify that the propeller that is coming with the kit is the appropriate diameter according with the tunnel, and verify that when the propeller is spinning, spin free inside of the tunnel. Okay, and right now you select the tunnel, and we are ready to make the hole. This is one tool that a friend of mine used to do the hole on the on the hull of the boat, and it's a heavy tool, and normally if you use that tool you need people with experience, because it's heavy, it's long, and it's dangerous if you make a mistake with that tool. But this is a perfect tool. When the hull is exactly, this is the process, slowly, and this is the hull at the end of the day where you use the tool. It's a big hull, no? It's a big hull, and you can see the different layers of fiberglass, foam, fiberglass, and now we are going to insert the tunnel over there, and we are going to laminate the tunnel, and after that cut it. It's a big job. Alright, this is the hull. If you check the hull from inside of the boat, that's the hull. And now we are going to introduce the tunnel, and we are going to laminate on the edge. Exactly like this. Be careful with this area. Be careful with this area. Keep that area clean, my friends. Believe me. Keep that area clean. I recommend protect the middle of the tunnel with a blue tape in order to avoid that the resin and the fiber dry over there. Why? Because after that, when you try to install the bracket of the bow thruster, the bracket don't sit properly because the resin over there. Protect this area. Try to keep this area completely clean. That's an important recommendation. All right, my friend. Be careful with that. Clean that area. This is the process of lamination, and of course, once again, try to use the appropriate resin, the appropriate mat. Try to use a professional for that job. This is exactly another example of the tunnel and the resin in both sides. And once again, try to keep that area completely clean. Protect that area. This is a good lamination. It is properly laminated. And outside right now, this is before the tunnel is installed. Prefer sand the area, remove the paint before you laminate. And after that, when you laminate, you paint properly internally, and you paint properly externally, exactly like this. Now the hull is finished, and you are ready to install the bow thruster in this way. Now the tunnel is properly installed in the boat. You remember the process? Step by step, put the boat out of the water, level the boat, take measurements about the water line, where is located the water line, measurements about the diameter of the tunnel and the diameter of the propeller of the bow thruster. Those diameter, the diameter of the tunnel and the diameter of the propeller and the capacity of the motor, DC motor in amps, are selected according with the tables that different manufacturers offer. In those tables, according with the length of the boat, the weight of the boat, they recommend different diameters for the tunnel and different diameters for the propeller of the bow thruster. And of course, the capacity in 24 volts or 12 volts. That depends on the manufacturer, and you can use different manufacturers. The only that you need, the information that you need, is the length of your boat, the capacity of your boat, the weight, and they recommend the bow thruster appropriated for your boat. Okay, suppose that this is my bow thruster, the bow thruster recommended for the manufacturer. The bow thruster is coming with the motor. It's a reversible DC motor. The negative enter in one side and the positive in the other side. Of course, the positive enter in the middle of the solenoid control box, and the solenoid control box send the positive for one direction or send the positive for the other direction. This is the typical solenoid control box that I explained in different episodes. You remember that episode? How to reverse DC motors with solenoids? Exactly. This is a DC motor, reversible motor And I explained in that video the procedure to reverse the rotation. You remember, is with a solenoid control box like this. This is the situation, is completely explode when the motor is improperly connected. Right now I am going to explain the procedure to connect the wire, the positive, properly in order to avoid explode the solenoid control box. This is another model of solenoid control box. Input of the positive for one direction, positive for other direction. This is the negative, and those are the cable for the signal, right side or left side, or up and down if the motor is used in a windlass. Reversible control box. Okay, we have the motor, we have the motor, reversible motor, we have the solenoid control box, we have the bracket. This is the bracket where the tunnel is located, and this is the lower unit with the propeller. This is the lower unit with the propeller, and the propeller is exactly the same like any type of propeller, have a sink, and the sink is used to protect the lower unit, because in the lower unit you have a gear exactly like the gear that you have in the typical lower unit. Is exactly like this. It's a small lower unit, and this lower unit have lubrication. When the system is installed, oil enter over there, and the oil is coming from a reservoir, like this picture. The oil enter over there, and we have a feeding over there with a clear line connected to the reservoir in order to keep the lower unit properly lubricated. Yes, the lower unit have the sink to protect the copper of the lower unit. This sink should be replaced periodically, because the sink is a sacrificial anode and is eroded. Normally once per year you need to replace those sinks in this propeller. And the propeller normally is a plastic propeller. Be careful with this pin, because this is the key. The key enter over there to avoid that the propeller spin free. That key in some cases is removable. This one is fixed over there. This is the lower unit. Okay, and we are going to refresh. This is the motor, reversible motor, the solenoid control box, the bracket for the tunnel, and the lower unit. And of course we have the control, the joystick, and the joystick, the cables are connected with the harness with the motor. That the joystick is on the console, and the joystick is connected with the motor. This is a bow thruster or a steam thruster, exactly the same like the bow thruster that you have on the screen. It's a typical DC reversible motor, 12 volts or 24 volts. This one in particular is for 24 volts. This is the positive enter here and goes in the middle of the solenoid control box, and depending of the signal entering in the solenoid control box, the current goes here for clockwise rotation or goes here for counterclock. The signal goes for one direction or other one coming from this relay. This is the typical relay, and this relay receives the signal from the joystick. The joystick that you have on the screen right now is connected here, and this is the typical operation of the bow thruster. Okay? In some cases we have one joystick on the flybridge, other joystick in the pilot helm, and both of them connected with the solenoid control box. This is the typical unit of the bow thruster, and right now we are going to start with the procedure to connect this unit on the boat. The first step is clean this area, protect this area, because this is the area. Suppose that we don't have the hole. Right now I am going to explain the procedure to make those drills, those holes. This is the tunnel. The tunnel is specially fabricated in fiberglass. Those tunnels come with the unit with the bow thruster, according with the recommendation of the manufacturer. And in the previous explanation, I explained the procedure to do the hole on the boat, to install the tunnel, to laminate with fiberglass the tunnel, inside and outside to paint. After that, the system is ready to install the tunnel. In this area, I recommend, during the process of lamination of the fiberglass, protect this area in the middle in order to avoid that fiberglass be accumulated in the middle. When you try to put the bracket, the fiberglass avoid that the bracket sit properly. For that reason, keep this area clean, and right now mark the center. You have different options to locate the bow thruster. You can locate the bow thruster vertical, incline, or completely horizontal. Depend on what? Depend on the area, depend on the space that you have in the room for the bow thruster. Normally, this tunnel is located in front of the boat, in the bow of the boat, in that small corner. Depend on the area, depend on the space that you have over there, you decide if the motor will be located vertical, inclined, or completely horizontal. That's your decision. Okay, suppose in this particular example, we are going to install the motor completely vertical. We are going to install the motor vertical with the bracket completely vertical. This is the situation that we are going to do. We are going to disassemble the unit. The first step is remove those bolts. Be careful because those bolts have a special thread. We are going to collect the bolts, and right now the bracket is free. Be careful with the bracket. This is the shaft of the lower unit, have a groove, and that groove enter in that key. That's important. Okay, and we are going to remove the plastic bracket from the lower unit. We are going to remove those bolts. And right now the bracket is ready to be installed on the boat. That's the bracket. And this is the lower unit. The lower unit is coming with two gaskets. Be careful with the gasket because one gasket will be used outside and the other gasket will be used inside. This is the lower unit that will be located here. Okay. In order to do the hole, I did the hole before. I need mark the center. The center in between both areas with fiberglass. This area. I mark the center and I use one of the gaskets like a template in order to do those holes. I am going to use this gasket like a template to do the holes. With this gasket, with this diameter and the micrometer, I am going to select the diameter, and after that, with this dimension, I am going to select the appropriate hole saw. And with the hole saw appropriated, now it's easy do the hole over there. That's clear? For that reason, it's important the gasket, the micrometer, because with the gasket and the micrometer, you know the diameter of the hole saw appropriated. All right? Don't forget micrometer, and be careful with the gaskets. Be careful with the gasket because we are going to use one gasket. We are going to use one gasket on top and other gasket on the bottom. One gasket in the bottom and other gasket on top. Okay. Other important recommendation is the seal. There are different type of seals. 3M produce 5200. 5200 is a great seal. I am going to use 5200. What is the idea? In this moment, I did those holes. And I am ready to apply a lot of 5200 here. Be careful with the holes. Don't put 5200 on the holes, only on those areas. After that, we are going to put one of the gasket over there, and now we are ready to introduce the lower unit over there. And now we are going to apply more 5200, a lot of 5200 over there, and after that, a lot of 5200 over there. After that, the second gasket, more 5200 over there, and after that the bracket. We are ready to install the bracket with more 5200 on those areas. And now we are ready to locate the unit. And install the bolts appropriated. Now the unit is ready. It's properly installed, the bracket, the motor, the solenoid control box, and now we are going to connect the system connected with the batteries. The connection is simple. This is the negative bus bar. The negative bus bar should be connected to the negative of the battery bank. Those bow thrusters are coming in 12 volts or 24 volts, depending of the boat, depending of the length of the boat. If the source of power is 24 volts, is because the bank of batteries are connected in series. Batteries of 12 volts connected in series. Or if you prefer, you can buy batteries of 24 volts directly. That's your decision. Okay, the positive is coming into the positive terminal of the motor, and the positive enter in the center of the solenoid control box. This cable, the positive, is coming from a switch selector, the battery switch selector, and the positive is coming from the battery. And the switch selector, the interrupter, should be selected according with the capacity of the motor in amps per hour. The capacity of this selector should be higher than this. The same like the fuse. I recommend install a fuse according with the capacity of that motor. The capacity of the fuse always is recommended by the manufacturer in the manual. The manufacturer of the bow thruster recommend what type of fuse is recommended for this motor. Okay, you install the fuse. The fuse always is installed in series, and after that the positive enter in the positive terminal of the bow thruster. This is exactly the situation, and now you tight appropriated with the wrenches the appropriated bolt. Okay, don't forget, you have the positive, you have the selector, you have the fuse, and you have the motor. The majority of the manufacturers, they recommend in between this and this one emergency push button, like the emergency push button that you have on the screen. Be careful with that. The emergency push button is important, and the fuse are important. Let me explain why. When the bow thruster is working, what happens if the bow thruster suction debris or suction plastics or cables? immediately the propeller is locked. If the propeller is locked and you continue with the joystick operating the motor, probably the temperature increased dramatically, you melted the cables and you explode the battery and you explode the solenoid control box also. In order to avoid that inconvenience, it's important this fuse. The fuse is critical, and the emergency push button, both of them. Those elements in the moment of that the motor is locked, this element open, the fuse is open and protect the battery, the selector and the motor. This is the fuse, and the capacity is according with the capacity recommended by the manufacturer of the motor. Okay, my friends, don't forget, this is the process. The process at the end, the motor should be installed appropriated, clean with the protection for the wires, protection for the cables. From this point is connected the harness, and the harness is connected directly with the joystick, and the joystick is properly installed according with the explanation that I did in the previous video clip. My friends, I hope that you enjoy the procedure to install bow thrusters. You can install bow thrusters and a steam thruster, it's the same. It's not complicated. And now we are going to talk about the other type of bow thruster. Is the element is exactly the same. The only difference is that instead of an electric motor, you have a hydraulic motor, like this, exactly like this. That hydraulic motor receives the power, the hydraulic power, from the central hydraulic unit. In the central hydraulic unit, there are a couple of solenoids, the servo solenoids, you remember, for right side or left side to control this bow thruster. This is another great example of a central hydraulic unit. The pump is coming from the PTO or from the electric motor, AC motor. And this is the body of valves with the servo solenoid. We have a couple of servo solenoids for bow thrusters, and we have another body valve with servo solenoid for the windlass. In this particular case, this valve body integrates bow thrusters and windlass. And the solenoids for the bow thruster receive the signal from the joystick, left side and right side, steam thruster, left side, right side, and windlass. And windlass with the two solenoids, one for up and other one for down. This is another great example of bow thrusters and windlass integrated in a central hydraulic unit. That bow thruster, hydraulic bow thruster, is highly efficient in mega yachts, in big boats. This is the bow thruster recommended, hydraulic, and the hydraulic motor on top receives the power from the central hydraulic unit. Yeah, the central hydraulic unit normally have the reservoir in the bottom and the electric motor on top, AC or DC. Or the hydraulic power is coming from the PTO, and the PTO is connected, you remember, on the transmission of the main engines or directly on the crankshaft of the generators. Those are the sources of hydraulic power. Now the lower unit is properly installed, and we are going to install the propeller, the sink, that's the propeller, and now the sink is ready. And we need to verify that the propeller is spinning free, and it's important to verify that you have the gap recommended in between the blades of the propeller and the tunnel. It's important to verify that the propeller is spinning free and you don't have any obstruction on the tunnel. Right now we are going to check the connection on the joystick and how to start the system. This is the joystick, like the joystick that you have on the screen right now. There are a joystick double, like this one on the screen, for bow thruster and a steam thruster. In this particular example is single. If you check in the button, they have two ons
If I press both ons at the same time, right now the system is on. And I am ready to activate the bow thruster in one direction or the other direction.